Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Higurashi console arc Taraiwamashi, I think. We're still on chapter 2, Eternally. I kind of forgot what happened last time. Was it like right after we talked to Oishi? Let's just get started so I kind of remember where we are. Or should I hold up? Let me refresh my memory quickly. Quickly. Mm, mm. Wish. Was it? Oh, I don't listen. Okay, good. Right. We met Oishi, and we're generally distrust distrusting. We had a Rika talk, which was from Watanagashi more, and stay away from Shion from Mion. There you go. I got the gist. But yeah, let's get into this. The rain outside was coming down even harder. Alongside the intense rain, thunders crackling more and more frequently. It felt like the sort of night where something would happen. And naturally, that something would be nothing good. Rather, something ominous. I was feeling mildly restless and couldn't calm myself down. I just wanted to get to sleep as soon as possible. So I turned the lights out early and crawled into my futon. The darkness distracted me from my idle thoughts, but those negative emotions were still lurking deep within my subconscious. If I can set those thoughts aside, everything will become clear. The fear and anxiety I tried to ignore laid me bare and attacked me from time to time. The curse of Oyashiro-sama, or rather, the series of deaths in Hinamizawa, the Sonozaki family, and their acting head, Mion Sonozaki. No, she's our good-natured club president and a friend. Those pieces of the puzzle unconsciously came to mind. Nevertheless, I still couldn't get a grasp on the situation. What on earth is happening? Have I already gotten myself involved? And if so, is there anything I can do to escape? Or maybe it's all just in my head? No, too many bizarre events have already come to light. It's impossible to simply explain them as products of my own biased imagination. I mean, to be fair, Shion's the one acting sus. It's weird because it's like it's Watanabe where Shion's sus, but also Anatakashi in the sense where Kichi's still suffering from a higher level syndrome. So like, I can definitely see them like even clashing at one point in this like situation. And the most important thing, of course, is Mion. Why do I have to be afraid of Mion? Mion is supposed to be my precious friend. But at the same time, I can't help but see the tremendous darkness behind the Sonozaki family, and the truth is, I'm afraid. There has to be some relationship between the Sonozaki family and the series of deaths in Hinamizawa. Mion personally explained the danger of the Sonozaki family to me and warned me not to speak out. The friends I've made since I moved to Hinamizawa are precious to me. I want to trust them wholeheartedly. That's right, I want to believe in Mion. It's not the time though. It's not like Anatakashi where if he believed he could save them. Also creepy. My eyes gradually grew accustomed to the darkness, because I do think Shan's literally crazy right now, so it would still be a bad ending if he trusted her. That was a cool fade in, by the way. The ceiling was faintly visible. The waning darkness slowly mingled the imagery from my imagination. And over time, it became hard to tell if the images before my eyes were real or not. I could see two sharp, elliptical shapes. What the heck? From the ceiling, though? I immediately buried my face into my futon, but hiding in my futon did nothing to comfort me. What was that just now? Honey? I saw Mian's eyes, or a pair of eyes resembling Mian, shining on the ceiling. Okay, so that's obviously just some shit in his mind. The glint in her eyes from this afternoon that paralyzed me. That wasn't Mian. Those predatory eyes had to belong to someone else. What the hell did I just see now? An illusion born from my own fear? I heard a sound, so I listened carefully to identify its source. Someone knocking? Stabbed. Oh, don't do it, Shion. It's too early. I rolled out of my futon and quickly surveyed my surroundings. I was alone in the room, but I braced myself anyway. Both my fists were trembling non-stop. Then the next moment, I heard a tap on the door. We're back. Lol. Oh. I thought they were gone. I guess they came back before. Sorry. I don't know why I forgot last session so much. It wasn't even that long ago. Once I answered, Mom opened the door. All the strength in my body released at once. Oh, we know who that is. Code for Mr. Oishi. A bookstore? I don't remember giving them my number. Though I felt a bit uneasy, I decided to head downstairs for the time being and pick up the phone. I recognized that voice. Good call, honestly. Oishi-san seemed to be taking extra precautions. So I switched to the cordless receiver and ran back upstairs to my room. What are we gonna get this time? Because we didn't even ask about Rena. So maybe it's some Mion tech? Oh, interesting. This is interesting because we haven't been interacting with Shion at all. Unless it's like unless she's Mion right now, which she is. But we haven't like been interacting with her like we did before, like going to the library, going into the storehouse, even talking on the phone at night. So learning this isn't some bit. I mean, it's still gonna be shocking for Keiichi because someone went missing, but it's not like the giga moment in watching Adachi. I squeezed the receiver in a panic. She apparently hasn't been seen for several days. More precisely, since the night I met Mion at the library. Was there a chance that Mion had Shion eliminated? I nearly uttered something in my panic, but I quickly covered my mouth with my hand. Yeah, we met Mion at the library, not Shion, right? Yeah, and then Rena spotted us, and yeah. I recalled the hawkish look in Mion's eyes from earlier. I can never tell anyone what Mion told me. Oishi-san's low voice echoed through the receiver like he was threatening me. Like right at... Because the last time we physically saw Shion, wasn't that at the Watanashi?
ミオンと違ってシオンとは学校も違うし、そんなに会う機会もないんです。
Yeah.
人違いなんじゃないですか。
I mean, true.
そうですかね。
Oishi-san's obstinate voice crawled through my ears. Did Oishi-san suspect me? But I don't know anything. Really, I don't. As I thought that, I started to regret carelessly mentioning Mion by name. I didn't want Oishi-san to hear anything about Mion, no matter how trivial. I didn't want to give Mion or Rene any reason to doubt me.
前原さん、本当のことだけ答えてくれませんか。
本当ですよ。俺は何も知らないんです。
Like literally true.
俺は無関係ですよ。
まあまあ落ち着いて前原さん。私は別にあなたを疑って聞いたわけじゃありませんから。
はい。
Oishi-san spoke softly to try to calm me down. If this was his idea of a bad joke, then stop it already. Hurry up and end this phone call.
そんなに動揺されては逆に疑ってくれと言われてい
I
るよう
mean,
な気が。
also kind of true, but I don't know, man. If you're like legitimately mad about being suspected of something you didn't do, I think that's reasonable.
すいません。
いやいや、あなたが謝ることではありません。前原さんが本当に何も知らないのか、それを。
ですから、何も知らないんです。
I don't know anything, and yet Oishi-san seems to be doubting me. I can't tell Oishi-san anything Mion told me no matter what. I desperately try to sort out the thoughts running through my head.
大丈夫ですか。
Kiichi, you fool. Did you already forget people can read your expressions through the phone?
前原さん。
はい。とにかく何も知らないんです。
Then Oishi-san spoke softly.
それとね、実は。
わあ。
も行方がわからないんですよ。
What does that mean? We just saw her. Huh?
ミオンもですか。
After Shion, Mion disappeared too?
それにこういうの前にもありましてね。
前にも二人が行方不明になったんですか。
はい、そうなんです。あれは去年のことでした。
This is new tech. Last year? That recently?
王女のおばが殺された時もあの二人が突然姿を現し
Huh?
ました。
I mean, did they? I don't remember that. Like how long missing?
そんな。
Do they mean that one night where Shion was getting her fingernails pulled, or what? Oishi-san was speaking of the curse on the day of the Watanashi.
おまけにその時はせっかく掴んだ容疑者が仏になってたものですから。
I don't remember them going missing at all. Two people disappeared and the suspect died. Oishi seemed to suspect the two of them were involved in the incident.
まあだからどうという話ではないんですがね。
This year, Tomotaki-san died and two people went missing.
何かわかりましたら教えてくださいね。
Oishi-san suddenly began speaking in a clerical tone.
はい。
こちらも進展がありましたらご連絡しますよ。前原さんも些細なことでもいいので必ずご連絡くださいよ。ねえ前原さん。
Oishi-san was implicitly telling me to contact right away if I noticed any movement from the Sonozaki family. But if I do that, I'll be the next one to get killed. I wanted to hang up the phone right away and escape from Oishi-san's voice.
わかってます。ちゃんとわかってますから。
ちゃんと頼みましたよ。それでは失礼します。
Weird sound. That sounded like a gun being cocked. As soon as I hung up, the sound of the torrential rain filled my ears. And I heard a crash of thunder mixed in the rainfall. It was particularly loud, but the noise was gradually muffled by the monotonous monta- monotonous. How do you say that word? For me, it's monotonous, but that sounds stupid. Monoton.
Monotonous.
Monotonous. There we go. I knew I knew that word. Monotonous. Sounds surrounded it. And then I was completely enveloped in silence. My nerves grew more and more tense, anticipating the moment when the silence would be broken once again, with the sound of rain and thunder. But if I were to hear any other sounds, no, I shouldn't hear anything like that. A sound like that would shatter my safety. As I continued to thinking about the inevitable sound that would break the silence, my nerves nearly gave out. I buried my head in my futon. When I did that, darkness made my imagination run wild. A vague image of Mion's hawkish eyes appeared before me. I like this effect. Fading into the creepy eyes. We only seen these in Watanadoshi and Nanotakashi, I think. This time I'm positive it's my imagination. Still, I was desperately fighting back the shock and fear. I was on the verge of screaming any moment now.
で、どうする？このまま黙ってるか？それとも。
Suddenly, Mion's words came back to me, as real as if they were whispered in my ear. My entire body was racked with tension, and all my strength escaped me. When Mion said, or, what did she have in mind for me? Someone might kill me on Mion's order. If they got me in this room, I probably wouldn't stand a chance. Perhaps someone would just open the door and break in without making a sound. Or maybe someone would just smash the window and break in. Or maybe there's already someone inside the room. I crawled out of my bedding and frantically looked around. There was nobody in the room. This wasn't the first time Mion and Shion disappeared. The same thing happened last year when the Hojo family's aunt died. I don't know what they mean by this. I think it's just that one night when they pulled out the fingernails. Because I don't remember anything else happening that could have been significant. Kurowishi's talking, unless he's literally just lying to get Keiichi to suspect this so Nozaki's more. On top of that, the prime suspect disappeared with impeccable timing. Well, what's gonna happen this time? Someone dies and someone disappears. How many people are going to disappear from Hinamizawa this year? The heavy rain and thunder carried on as usual. There were no signs of the approaching morning. Will I be able to safely make it through the night? Really, I wonder if tomorrow morning will ever come. Will it? That's a chapter end. Don't hit me with an 18-minute chapter end. Or just make it endless. Endless chapter, please. We're already this far. Yep, it's endless. Nice. Here we go. Actually endless. I woke up once again. No, it was probably for the best that I stayed up. Continuing to sleep will only put me in more danger. Tomorrow morning is going to be tough, but I can't compromise my safety. If someone were to break in, even if I was awake when an intruder broke in, I'm not sure I could do much about it on my own. Still, it's better than sleeping completely defenseless. At any rate, I just wanted a moment to relax. If I keep this up until morning, the tension is going to drive me mad. Pat, pat, pat. Huh? Hanyu? No, it must be my imagination. I was disgusted with myself for thinking that so many times tonight. Pat, 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 pat. It sounded like it was getting closer and closer. It felt more real than my earlier hallucinations. Was it still just my imagination? Pat, 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 pat. After one last pat, I noticed the sound stopped right in front of my room. That's no hallucination. Ah!
ケイチ起きなさい。朝よ。
Thanks, Mom. It was Mom. Morning had already arrived. In the end, I could barely get any sleep. Just thinking about sleepiness I would be fighting all day had me feeling depressed. But at the same time, I felt relieved that I safely made it to the morning. I dragged my body down the stairs. A completely ordinary scene was spread out before me. A completely ordinary breakfast on a completely ordinary dining table.
眠そうね、ケイチ。昨日は何時に寝たの？
うん。昨日は寝つきが悪くてさ。
そう、珍しいじゃないの。
気がついたら朝だった。はあ。
あんたもしかして昨日の雷が怖くて寝られなかったんじゃないの？
まさか子供じゃあるまいし。
Mom gave me an awkward look like she had seen right through me. Oh, what a surprise. Someone's seen through Teiji. It wasn't fear of thunder that denied me my sleep. However, it was indeed fear that kept me awake, so she was right on that regard. I was bombarded with sounds I shouldn't have been able to hear and other meaningless noises. Any small sound off in the distance would leave me terrified. It was a long, long night. I focused all my attention on the morning sun and the chirping birds. And then, I was finally able to see how cowardly I was acting. It was a calm, wholesome morning, completely devoid of any sort of trouble. My fear of the Sonozaki family, my fear of Mion, the dark side of the Sonozaki family that I heard about. It was unmistakably Mion Sonozaki who told me all about it. Personally. Was it a warning or was it intimidation? I took it both ways. However, nothing has happened since then. My everyday life is going on like usual. So, is there really any reason for me to be afraid of Mion? As of this morning, there's been no change in my everyday life. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Oh, hi-yo.
おう、おはよう、レナ。
あれケイチくん目が真っ赤だよ。どうしたんだろう
なんか寝つきが悪くてさ。そんなわけで今日は寝不足だ。はあ、
大丈夫かな
Kana? Rena moved closer to look my face over. I was startled for a moment. If I moved in this close to Rena, she'd start blushing immediately. So I quickly looked away before my complexion could start changing.
なあレナ、ミオン遅いな。
まだ調子悪いのかな
For the moment, I simply tilted my head to the side. According to Oishi-san, Mion had disappeared. In that case, there's no way Mion could come here.
先に行ってもいい約束の時間になってるけどどうする
Rena said that with an innocent look on her face. So Rena didn't know about Mion's disappearance, or was she deliberately pretending not to know? Rena turned to me and encouraged me to think it over.
ケイチくんどうするもう行かないと遅刻になっちゃうかも。
そうだな。ミオン、まだ体調が悪いのかもしれないしな。
If there's nothing we can do about it, there's no point on dwelling on it. Ultimately, I made my decision. That's right, wasn't I the one who so passionately desired to enjoy my wonderful everyday life? I never wanted to get involved in any of these incidents. And Mion is probably staying home because she's not feeling well, right? If I simply never got out of bed to answer my phone, would Oishi-san start saying that I disappeared too? If there's nothing I can do about it, there's no point in dwelling on it.
レナ、そろそろ行こうか。
Ren and I started walking side by side. As I walked to stroll with Rena, all the sights along the way looked just the same as always. I felt like a person recovering from an illness walking outside for the first time in a while. I found myself struggling to recognize the nature all around me. After carefully running my eyes across the surroundings, I came to realize that nothing had changed at all. Maybe I've been overthinking everything up until now. My shoulders and cheeks began to relax, and my usual confidence slowly came back to me.
ケイチ君、今変なことを考えてなかった？
What do you mean, Rena?
なんでだよ。そんなこと考えてねえぞ。
ああ、ケイチ君照れてる。怪しいの、怪しいの。
照れてないって。怪しくもない。
だって最近、ケイチ君ずっと怖い顔してたのに、さっきニコニコしてたよ。
Sheesh, of all the things for Rena to say. Still, was I really making those scary faces that Rena mentioned? For sure. It might be true. I haven't felt this calm in a long time. And there's no reason for her to say something unusual. It's been a while since she's teased me, hasn't it?
そうか。バレてたか。
そうでしょ？じゃあ、やっぱり変なこと？
別に変じゃ。レナを見て、ちょっとにやけてたからさ。
Okay, dude. That'll make her habu? Well, almost.
なんでかな？なんでレナを見てにやけてたのかな？
So many kanas? That's a successful attack. Rena's cheeks were already starting to turn red.
最近、ちょっと疲れていてさ。
Habu?
毎日会ってるのに、レナの顔
Oh
を
my
ま
god.
ともに見る余裕もなかった。
Chill, bro. I could tell Rena's heart rate was steadily climbing.
で、久しぶりにレナの顔をじっくり見たらさ、やっぱり可愛いなと思って。
Critical hit.
ケイチ君。
Rena was blushing so hard she was about to faint. Mission accomplished. Come to think of it, it has been a long time since I've properly teased Rena. By the time we arrived at school, everything was still the same as usual. In fact, considering how things were recently, it seemed even more lighthearted than usual. So I yanked open the classroom door like always. Bonk. And yep, and just then I heard a snap off in the distance. A moment later, bonker moment. Nope, a splasher. My upper body was completely soaked in some liquid. Normally I'd be on high guard before entering the classroom. But of course, I realized I was far more relaxed than usual. And the reason I described it as liquid instead of water, the smell, the stench. What you hit us with.
ケイチさんがそんな簡単に引っかかるなんて思ってなかったのでござい
The
ますわ。
Toko.
どうせカースならばちょっとした
Oh
ジョークで。
no, what'd she do?
これのどこがジョークの範囲だ。
デッドストックの牛乳
Ew!
のトラップ。
Spoiled mouth. No, dude. That's gross.
本気で設置するわけがございませんでしょうが。
Oh, look at her. Flustered.
そのデッドストック
That's
の牛乳
disgusting.
の範囲だ。
Classic Toko. I mean, it's not as bad as her trap with the spears with the poop on it to infect your wounds. That's still my favorite dangerous Satoko trap, but this is really disgusting too.
そんなの知りませんわ。気を抜いていた圭一さんが悪いのでございますわ。
After my harsh words, Satoko sensed the impending danger. She'd quickly try to put some distance between us, but I won't let her escape. Pat, pat, tap, pat, tap, pat, tap, tap, tap. Pat, 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 tap, tap, tap. Pat, pat, tap, tap, tap. Yank. How naive, Satoko. Oh, the hat. The thwacker?
圭一さんが圭一さんが
Just an aggressive poke.
水じゃなくて熟成された牛乳を使った分でかっこ強だ。
True.
バク、ほんとくせえ。
While Rena was stunned by the old mount, she was on high alert for a secondary disaster. Even Rita-chan decided to keep her distance.
圭一、かわいそうかわいそうです。でも近づきたくないので
Yeah, you're nasty. Get out of here.
早くジャージに着替えるのですよ。みー
And take a shower. I dashed off in the direction of the bathroom. She deserved more than a forehead poke for this suffering. Satoko! I'll have my revenge in the next club activity. Ugh. For the moment, I escaped into the privacy of the bathroom. Fortunately, there's nobody else inside. I can't imagine what kind of rumors might start flying around if someone saw me scampering into a private room covered in milk. Okay. I pulled my shirt off, then used it to wipe my face and upper body. When I pulled my pants off, I noticed the mouth seeped all the way down to my underwear. Damn you, Satoko. I had no choice but to pull my underwear off too so I could wipe the milk off all of my clothes. Even so, the smell, it was completely rotten. And no matter how much I scrubbed my hair, the smell remained. Damn you, Satoko! What is the sound effect? Rare sound effect? That's the curse sound effect when Kichi uses sense of curse in someone's way. I brought a gym shirt with me, so I was able to wear that. Hey, this is like the equivalent of him changing after almost getting hit and falling into mud. Kinda. At a time like this, there's no point in arguing the details. I confirmed there's no students around, then rinsed my head off in the washroom. Class was already getting started, but I couldn't stop dealing with the milk situation. It was spoiled milk after all. Damn you, Satoko! I slipped back into the private room and started daydreaming while scrubbing my hair dry. About what? Oh no! Satoko bully dreams? I do not approve this thing we're about to read. In my dream, Satoko was completely incapable of moving around. Of course, my body was still able to move freely. And in my hands I held a pot full of nonsense-inspired milk emanating an intense stench. I had absolute authority in the matter. How would Satoko react in that situation? Like usual, she would probably use all her strength to make the best of the situation. Satoko wouldn't break her rebellious posture for even an instant. I had a graceful smile on my face as I moved the pot closer to Satoko's head. And then, I'll show no mercy as I bathe her in it. Okay, that wasn't that bad. Honestly, eye for an eye. In my daydream, I got my revenge on Satoko. I thought it was gonna be worse. Your relief will be short-lived, Satoko. My hair is finally drying up, so it's probably about time to head back. As I entered the classroom, the lesson was already more than halfway done. If I tell Chi-sensei I wasn't feeling well, she'll probably forgive the offense. The fact that I spent such a long time in the bathroom lended some credibility to the argument. I took a quick glance toward Mian's seat, but she still wasn't here. When it explained to me after class, Mian had apparently contacted Chi-sensei to call in sick. Rena seemed genuinely concerned about Mian's health. So, Rena clearly believed the story about her absence. Maybe I've just been overthinking everything these days after all. Schwing? Schwing? Uh-oh. At today's club activity, I earned my first major victory in a long time. We're back in it, boys. Of course, my strategy from start to finish was to take down Sadoko. Payback for the spoiled milk. And thanks to that strong motivation, I came out victorious today. I completely denied the others an opportunity to follow up. I had so much fun. And I laughed from the bottom of my heart. Spending time with my wonderful friends. Isn't this great? No, to me this is the most important thing of all. Let's cherish our time together. Let's cherish every day we get to spend together as friends. Until... Whoa! Chapter break. At 36 minutes. Or if it's... Or not, yeah. Chapter end? Rare chapter NW? I know it's early, but I think we will end it here. Short episode, but I'm sure next one will be longer. You know, pace ourselves a bit. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Pretty wholesome episode, you know. We got a little creepy talk with Oishi, but generally, Teichi's actually starting to reclaim his happy life. But I just don't think it's possible to do if Shion's crazy, so we'll see what that's about. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoy it, and see you next time on some more Higurashi console arts. Taraiwamashi. Yay.